This past week was the 20-year anniversary of the invasion of Iraq. It's a time of a lot of conflicting emotions for veterans like myself who participated in the global war on terror. And in this same week, where veterans like myself are reflecting on the war that we participated in, this global war on terror, the Republican Party in Donald Trump is actively recruiting and trying to inspire domestic terrorists to kill Americans. And Trump's acolytes in Congress, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Boebert and Gates, are cozying up next to domestic terrorists who are already imprisoned for committing an attack against the United States at the DC jail. It is heartbreaking. It is frustrating. It's difficult to describe the emotions that I'm feeling, having fought in the global war on terror that the Republican Party sent me to fight in. And to now have the de facto leader of the Republican Party, Donald Trump, actively calling for terrorist attacks against the United States, and for people to be following in those perceived orders, mailing a death threat to District Attorney Alvin Bragg at the very same moment that the Republican clown show from Congress are hanging out with domestic terrorists in DC jail. You know, I am frustrated to no end. I'm at a loss for words. But I'm not hopeless. That's why I do what I do. You know, I run a small nonprofit called Task Force Butler Institute. We are a bunch of veterans who are fighting for democracy. What we do is we investigate far-right extremists like these wannabe terrorists who are threatening Alvin Bragg and other Americans. And we're working to bring them to justice in the same way that a lot of January 6 defendants have been brought to justice. It's not just police. It's not just the FBI doing investigations, you know, looking through the hundreds, the thousands of hours of photos, of videos, the countless photos of what happened on January 6th. It's average Americans who've taken it upon themselves to fight for our democracy and justice, to collect evidence, to analyze it, and to provide that evidence and analysis to law enforcement to help them bring domestic terrorists to justice. Well, Task Force Butler Institute is a group of American veterans who volunteered to do just this, not just for January 6 related stuff, but for all sorts of extremist organizations, especially white supremacist, white nationalist, neo-Nazi organizations. Task Force Butler Institute goes into the dark places of the internet, like the Donald, like 8kun and 4chan and Gab and Telegram and all the places where these Trump-supporting wannabe terrorists are radicalizing one another and recruiting each other towards terrorism. And we're finding their identities. And we are documenting evidence of things like threats, and we are trying to do what we can to bring them to justice before they're able to bring that violence from words and plans to action. So, again, this week, this 20th anniversary of the invasion of Iraq has been a really a tough time for a lot of us, frankly, for veterans who participated in the global war on terror, to see the Middle East, Iraq, and also Afghanistan in the state that they are today. It makes us wonder if the fight that we were fighting back then was worth it, if our sacrifices were worth it. And it's up to every individual veteran and every veterans' family to decide if their sacrifices are worth it, right? I'm not going to tell anybody if their sacrifice is worth it. But I can say without a doubt that the fight that we're in today to save democracy from insurrectionists, from domestic terrorists, is worth fighting. I know that today, when I am exposing a neo-Nazi organization and bringing them to justice by sharing evidence with law enforcement so that they can be prosecuted, I know that I'm protecting Americans, and I'm proud to do that. So, when you see the former president of the United States, this disgraced guy, this old, impotent man down in Florida, freaking out online and trying to inspire domestic terrorists, just know that there are folks like me and veterans who are volunteering with me at Task Force Butler Institute who are actively working to fight against those domestic terrorists in a way that matters. Our organization has, our research has led to lawsuits against extremist organizations. We have recently gotten a neo-Nazi arrested with the evidence that we provided. And we're a small organization, but we're growing. And over time, we're going to be more effective. So it's my promise to you as a veteran that there's a community of us out there who still believe in democracy. And those vets who violated their oath and are locked up in the DC jail right now, who Marjorie Taylor Greene, Boebert, and Gates, are fundraising off of right now, taking photos with, they are an extreme minority. The rest of us took our oath seriously. And we're not going to let democracy fail without a serious fight. So, don't feel hopeless. The former president might inspire domestic terrorism, but we remain faithful to our oath, even as veterans, long after taking off the uniform. We're going to work with law enforcement. We're going to hold these people accountable. So, just be hopeful.
Our blue wall stopped the red wave and election deniers got denied election. That's why we're celebrating with the new Democracy Prevails team. We've got lots of work to do, but we should all be proud that when democracy was tested, democracy prevailed. You've earned this. Don't wait. Get yours right now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.